I guess we're doing math now. Again, here you are for more math. Just kidding. I'm glad you are here. We're total. Okay, no. Look. School is just one of those things, okay? I'm just kind of like, yeah, let's go raw school. Listen, I get it. It sucks sometimes. And that's okay. But we just gotta get through it, okay? And I'm gonna help you get through it. That is very true. Oh, God. Hope I didn't break the Apple Pencil. It's very expensive. Don't do it. Okay, so I've got the iPad set up. Let's hit record. All right, so the iPad is good and ready, and I guess we are good and ready. So let's do some math. So today we're gonna be going over how to solve simple algebraic equations, okay? And that's just a fancy way for saying, how do I do the basics of algebra? Sort of. You'll see. You probably already know this because you've got an assignment. That's why you're here. So I'm gonna start with the problem that I'm just gonna make up here, okay? Let's go x plus 3 equals 21. All right, so here's the golden rule of math, okay? Like you have, I was gonna say you have the golden rule of life, but a lot of people debate on that one. But I won't debate on one of them. Love is always the answer. Yeah, like always. Now, people have different definition of what love is, but treating others with kindness is never a bad idea. Okay, so so if that's one of the golden rules of life, here's the golden rule of algebra. What you do to one side, you must do to the other. Period. For now. All right, so we got x plus 3 equals 21, all right? The way we're gonna solve this is anything we do, wait, let me start over. All right, so we've got x plus 3 equals 21, all right? And what the x means is we don't know what number that is. So this number right here, x, what number plus 3 would equal 21? That's what a lot of algebra is about. Algebra is about developing ways to find a number when you don't know what the number is. For example, let's take another equation, and then we'll come back and solve that one, but let's just use like a real life scenario. Let's say you've got a car. Here, I'm gonna draw a car. I'm not an artist, don't make fun of me. Let's say you've got a car, okay? Choo-choo. All right, let's put a smiley face on that car. Let's make it a semi-truck instead. It's a semi-truck. Okay, here's the snout. Da-da-da-da-da. Semi-truck, okay? And let's say that semi-truck, which just happens to have, you know, the logo Spread Positivity on it. What? Let's say that semi-truck gets 30 miles for every gallon of gas in it. So this truck, this one right here, can go 30 miles on 1 gallon of gas. That's like, I was gonna say that's one of milk. Is that what's in a milk jug? Pretend like it's a milk jug. Okay, so a milk jug's worth of gas, it can go 30 miles. The question I'm gonna ask about this semi-truck is, fine, if it has to go to Atlanta, which is 300 miles away, how many gallons of gas does it need? We don't know yet. We just know that we're going 300 miles and that the semi-truck can go 30 miles per gallon. So the question is, how many gallons of gas does it need? And that's what algebra is for. Algebra is for solving problems in the real world. Like, now you know how much gas you're gonna need to get there, which lets you know how much money you're gonna need in order to go to Atlanta. You might want to double it if you're planning on coming back home. But it's for stuff like that. And I like to start these lessons with kind of explaining why the math is important. Some of the math you do, I'm gonna be real here, may not be important at all unless you're going into fields that require it. But some of this stuff really is like useful for real life, and this is one of those, okay? But ignore this word problem. There's no way we're gonna go over that today. We would do that in a later time. But let's go back to our simple problem, which is x plus 3 equals 21, okay? So, here's how we're gonna solve this one, all right? The goal of algebra is to figure out what is the number. What does x equal? You might have a different letter. It might say a instead, a plus 3. Or it might say, hang on, swap colors. It might say m plus 3. It doesn't really matter what letter's being used right now. All that matters is we need to know what number the letter is. So what number plus 3 equals 21 is really what this problem is asking. So let's find out. All right, the rule of algebra. What you do to one side, you must do to the other. So if I want to find out what x plus 3 equals 21 is, I need to get x alone on one side of the equation. And the best way to do that is to get rid of all the stuff that's over there with x. So here's what I mean. If I got x plus 3, I'm going to subtract 3 from this side, because 3 minus 3 is 0. That would get rid of the 3 that's on my x right now. That sounded like x, like this is like x, like relationship x. Never mind. All right. So subtract the 3 to counter the plus 3. And remember, what you do to one side, you must do to the other. So I'm going to subtract 3 from this side too. That's going to give us x. This zero's out, so I'm going to put a giant slash through it because 3 minus 3 is 0, so it's zeroed out. And x equals, and what's 21 minus 3? 18. Now we're done. Like, that was an easy one. Now, you can always know in algebra if you've gotten the answer correct or not by simply seeing if the number makes sense in the original formula. So, this 18 here, if I stick it back over here in the original, 18 plus 3, does that equal 21? Yeah. 18 plus 3 is 21. So I know that we got this right. Easy peasy, right? So, that's really it. Let's do another one. Bet you expected that to be harder than it was, huh? All right, let's try this one. 3 times x equals 21. Okay? Wait, hang on. Sorry. All right, 3 times x equals 21. Remember, our goal is to get the x alone so that we can see what the x equals, because x is just a number we don't know. That's all it really represents, okay? So 3 times x equals 21. What's the opposite of multiplying 3 times x? I'll give you a hint. It's not adding or subtracting in it. Division, right? So the opposite of multiplication is division. So, and if you didn't know that, you know that now. Multiplication and division are opposites. Addition and subtraction are opposites, okay? So, if I want to get rid of the 3, I simply need to divide by 3. So, let's divide this thing by 3. And remember, what we do to one side, we must do to the other. And I will divide this side by 3. Now, what is 3 divided by 3? 1. So, 1x equals, and what is 21 divided by 3? 7. Done. 1x equals 7. And in algebra, it's a good habit. I left that 1 there, but in algebra, it is a fantastic habit. In fact, go ahead and do this. To leave, when you have 1 in front of a letter, to kind of just not put the 1 there. Because remember, 1 times x is x. 1 times 1 is 1. 1 times 3 is 3. 1 times anything is anything. So there's really no point in writing 1x. 1 times x is x. So, x equals 7. And now we can check it, because remember, we talked about how to do this. So, is 3 times 7, 21? Yes, it is. And ta-da, that's it. So, yeah. There's some basic algebra stuff. So, to recap, today we talked about the basics of algebra and a semi-truck carrying my brand on it and gasoline, and how math is sometimes very useful in real life. Let me know in the comment if that was good. Like good as in like useful. I think it'd be good to do more practice problems. So find you some practice problems. So I was about to say, like, I'll have some posted on my website, but there's none posted there right now. So just, you can take the 2 that we worked on here. If you got your math book or a workbook you can work through, use that. That'll be helpful. Math really is about practice. It's about A, understanding the rules, and B, practice. Just a lot of practice. But you can do this. You can absolutely do this. Now, I know that it's more challenging at times, and sometimes, again, with school, you kind of have things you have to take. It doesn't matter if you like them or not, you have to do it. And I get it, but let's just do your best with what you got for now. And you can make this happen, man, because do well in school. Once you finish with school, then the keys are really in your hands. And having the ability to learn stuff even when you may not have a whole lot of interest in it is relatively useful. It's nice to see that you're capable of anything. So, anyway, alrighty, best of luck. See you in the next lesson. Bye.